Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today I'll be doing the Fenty foundation, the Pro Filt'r Hydrating Longwear foundation trial on my face. I just picked this up. I'm in the shade. I'll leave it till later, so stick around if you want to know my shade. But also I'll be recommending a dupe to this, which is a drugstore dupe, and it's super comparable. I'm wearing Fenty foundation on one side of my face and the dupe on the other side. Can you tell the difference? If you can't, then stick around to find out the dupe. So let's just head into the demonstration. Okay, to start out, I'm just gonna cleanse my face with the Bonnet Aloe Squeeze toner. This is my second bottle of this toner. This toner isn't a alcohol base, so it won't dry out my skin any further, but basically I just want to clean my skin because I did come from Sephora after I picked this up, and I spent like an hour trying to find the dupes in my collection, so I will go through them really quickly. I'll leave my skin type here and also like the sort of issues that I'm facing, which I feel like makes this foundation really attractive to me, even though I am an oily skin girl. But like I mentioned, my skin is perpetually dehydrated, so this will be a good test. And also I have freckles, acne scars, existing pimples. A lot is going on to cover. Alright, so with the Fenty Pro Filt'r Hydrating Longwear foundation, I'm probably going to apply it on this half because I have a huge pimple here and a pimple here. But furthermore, I'm going to try it with the dupe on the right side and only reveal the brand a little later. So basically, I'm in the shade 210, and I decided to go for a darker shade than the previous one that I got from Fenty, which is 190. But yeah, basically I am a little tanner since the previous launch, so I decided to basically get a darker color. So this is how the foundation bottle looks like. It's a squeezy tube and it comes with the same signature white packaging. It comes with a pump, and the pump is kind of very reminiscent of, yeah, I know, I'm just gonna keep it in suspense, but the drugstore dupe has a similar pump. And this is the texture of the foundation. I'm not sure if you guys can see, but the texture is basically like really runny, but it has a very gel consistency for some reason. So I'm just going to use this on my face. So with this launch, they came out with the hydrating kind of primer as well. I'm going to use no primer today because I strictly want to test the dupes out. Immediately right off the bat, you can see it's super full coverage. Alright, so this is with one pretty thick layer, and this is how the foundation looks like. It's uber beautiful. Like, it's such a gel consistency that it just meshes into the skin so well without any sort of primer or moisturizer. The finish on the skin, I feel like it's tacky but not sticky, so my skin feels like, you know, well moisturized, but it isn't sticky feeling. But as I just touched my face, there will leave sort of fingerprint marks, but that is pretty normal for hydrating type foundations. You can see the redness on my pimples got neutralized. Shade match is really good, 210. This is without the foundation and this is with the foundation. So because that was one layer, you can still see a few of my kind of freckles, but it's still very perfected and finished. So if I want to build up the coverage, let's say in this area, just bouncing it around, it blends into itself really well. Since buying it, I've tried it twice already because I kind of took it off and reapplied it again without any products. And as you can see, full coverage. Really beautiful. Right without any product, left with the product. So it's worth mentioning at this point that the drugstore dupe that I found isn't exactly a good shade match to this foundation, nor is it to my current kind of skin tone, even though I'm not incredibly dark. But you know, the drugstore doesn't really do a wide range like Fenty does, so that's already one of the kind of cons when it comes to buying something that is cheaper. But that being said, it is way more affordable. So anyway, I'm going to do the right side of my face with the dupe. Just gonna show you the texture of this dupe. It's also pretty runny, and it has like quite an emollient texture, a gel texture as well. So it's already, you know, in terms of matching the consistency of the foundation, we are there. So I'm just gonna apply this all over my face. So you can probably see as I'm applying it, the shade match wise isn't ideal, but this is the closest shade match I can get to my skin, which is NC25 with more of a olive yellow undertone. I just went for a swim over the weekend, so basically I got a little bit tan. I forgot to apply sunscreen, which is like literally the worst mistake I can ever make. Just like that, the whole face is already done and it blends really well. The texture is super beautiful. I'm just building up a bit of coverage at this area to show you guys it's really comparable to the Pro Filt'r Hydrating Foundation from Fenty. And soon we will compare close up both sides. Okay, so basically this is both sides done. Can you tell the difference? Similarly, after I sort of blend this, it has like a moisturizing texture to the skin, not a tacky finish. Likewise, it leaves fingerprints when you do that. This is how it looks like up close. There is no moisturizer or no primer base to these foundations, so I believe they are really are like super compatible aside from the shade range. You can see my forehead, right and left. So from afar, what do you guys think? I really am so happy and so pleased with myself for finding this dupe. And yeah, should I tell you now? Basically, you'll probably see it in the description box, but I'll probably put it in a little bit later. But the drugstore dupe that I found for the new Fenty Beauty launch would be the Healthy Mix Foundation from Bourjois, and this is the Fenty side and this is the Healthy Mix Foundation side. Initially, I had thought that the new Fenty foundation, would be a kind of a really close comparison to my super favorite from Bourjois, which is the Healthy Mix Serum. But I find that the Healthy Mix Serum sort of coverage wise isn't as high coverage as the Fenty Beauty. So immediately I was like, okay, I don't thoroughly love this as compared to the gel texture of this, but coverage wise I definitely feel like the Healthy Mix foundation has that coverage abilities that is super comparable to the Fenty Beauty ones, which is why I think they are incredibly close dupes. But that being said, I have a couple of really notable mentions from the drugstore as well, one being the Healthy Mix Serum Foundation from Bourjois as well. This one is more of the same kind of gel consistency as the Fenty Beauty foundation, but sort of these two have similar textures, but I must say that this one is a little bit more of a gel consistency. Coverage wise, it's just a slight fraction less than the Fenty Beauty one, so it's not as high coverage, but it has like a high medium coverage already, so you know, it's good enough for me. And another one would be the L'Oreal True Match Foundation. Don't be mistaken by the Fresh Wear or, you know, their Infallible Matte. It's the True Match Foundation. This, in terms of the consistency of the foundation, the coverage abilities, and how kind of, you know, vibrant it looks on the skin and, you know, natural it looks on the skin, is basically the True Match Foundation. It has that coverage abilities as well. I find that out of these three kind of foundation dupes, you probably love this one, which is the one that I tried, which is why I think that I mentioned and applied this onto my face to recommend to you guys. But on a personal basis, I really like the True Match foundation because it's very accessible, but not just that, it has a better shade range than Bourjois does. So that aside, I'm gonna finish my whole face and I'll get back to you on my final thoughts. Alright, and this is my final look using the Fenty Pro Filt'r Hydrating Longwear foundation, as well as the dupe, which is the Bourjois Healthy Mix foundation. And I love how my makeup turned out. I did not use any any powder. I just use concealer at very minimal areas, but overall, as you can see, both equally good, both equally kind of tacky to the touch, but not like sticky. So that being said, everything is super comparable. I'll leave all the information below, how it wears, how long it wears, whether it's really worth the price after prolonged use. Give me a while to test it out, but overall I hope I gave you guys some important tips and tricks in terms of, you know, how to wear this foundation. I would suggest a few things in terms of how I wore it today. I think that it's alright on its own. Definitely wear sunscreen underneath in order to protect your acne scars and all that kind of thing. For those of you who are a little bit more oily, use a mattifying primer underneath, or alternatively you can powder your face slightly. For me, I'm not sure if many of you have similar kind of issues, skin issues, but I do believe if a lot of you out there do use kind of acne fighting products, you will have this dehydrated complex as well. But in Singapore's humid heat, for a lot of us like oily, dry skin or combination people, you will end up feeling a little greasy at the end of the day, whether due to sweat or just humidity. That being said, this foundation still works in our climate and it doesn't make us look like really oily or anything like that. So that is kind of interesting. I think that it's not as hydrating as a lot of other hydrating foundations out there. It's a wearable kind of hydrating, and yeah, while it is catered to dry skin people that exist in like winter climates or maybe cooler climates, but in Singapore, I do believe all around this hydrating formula is just an attribution of the kind of stickiness and how it adheres to the skin, which is perfect for our humid climate because we need something that will stay throughout the day. So yes, my full in-depth review will be below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell notification icon. That's the only way you'll be notified about my uploads. So if you guys have any other recommendations, leave them in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.